I started loving running the business as much as taking care of the patients because, Stephen, what do you call a doctor who is a great doctor, but is not profitable? And the answer is out of business, and you can't really help people, right? You can't really help people if you're not making money in your business because it's a business. So I need to be profitable to help more people in my community. So I love both aspects of it. And then I guess about after 20 years in practice, I started teaching classes in business to other podiatry owners. And I can do that at night after my clinic hours.
Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Business with a servant's heart. Listen to the podcast. We're all about to talk on life. Our guest will share his life story. We want you to success in life. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk on life, we're gonna talk on business, you're gonna shine bright, we are gonna witness.
Shout out to my sponsors, A Mind for All Seasons. Your brain is your greatest competitive edge, so why not optimize it? Just text OPTIMIZE to 72000, 72000 for instant access to 6 quick videos that help you think faster, remember more, and stay focused longer. A big thanks to Epic App, the 4-step storytelling system I use every day to connect and to convert. Try it free. Email me at stever1961@gmail.com. That's stevr1961@gmail.com, and I'll get you the free app. Doing Business with a Servant's Heart was just named top 6 in small business marketing. Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching. Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ramona. So thankful that you've joined us today. And I'm excited because we're going to talk about healthcare. You all know it needs help. I'm being very kind when I say it needs help because we all need it. Unfortunately or fortunately, whatever way you look at it, if your health's not good, you can't make money, you can't be a servant heart, you can't do all that. And we need that because we can't heal ourselves on everything. With that being said, let's do our gratitude for today. Today's gratitude is every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. As I say, 1% every day, and you're going to be fine by the end of 2026. So take your little steps every day, and you're going to be very successful. With that being said, let's bring our wonderful guest on. Peter, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Stephen. Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it, and I'm glad to be here.
Do I call you Dr. Peter or Peter? I forgot to ask you, but I'm going to ask you on the show.
Okay, so everybody knows I'm a doctor now. You could just say Peter.
Beautiful. We're going to call him Peter, and he's a podiatrist who worked on feet. Now he's working on people and their business in healthcare. What was the story that got you from being a podiatrist? Looked like you were pretty successful to go, I'm going to close my clinic. I'm going to help others.
That's great. That's a great question to start off with. It all starts off when I was 29 years old and I bought a practice that I thought was going to be worth something. I had about $300,000 in debt before I even saw my first patient between student loans, buying the practice, a credit line. And next thing I know is that I'm losing about $8,000 a month and for the first 3 months. And that's not sustainable. And I had no clue how to run a business. I'm 29 years old. I went to podiatry school, right? College, podiatry school, residency. And now I'm thinking I could just go see patients, make some money, and help people. It's not so easy. And then basically I got this fax that says learn how to run your medical business in a 2-day seminar. Lo and behold, after the 2 days, I signed up for a coach for a year and maxed out 2 credit cards, a total of like $18,000, which I didn't have. And I had no clue why I did this, but I needed help. And at the end of the first year of coaching, I made more money in 1 year than the previous owner did in any one of the 17 years in practice. I'm like, wow, this is great. And I started loving running the business as much as taking care of the patients because Stephen, what do you call a doctor who is a great doctor, but is not profitable? And the answer is out of business, and you can't really help people, right? You can't really help people if you're not making money in your business because it's a business. So I need to be profitable to help more people in my community. So I love both aspects of it. And then I guess about after 20 years in practice, I started teaching classes in business to other podiatry owners. And I can do that at night after my clinic hours and that was growing. And then at about 4 years ago, I was 62 years old, and private equity came in. They gave me an offer I couldn't refuse. My father died young. He died at 59. His father died at 62. I'm 62. I'm thinking, what a great way to exit and do and help more people help their patients by opening up this coaching business.
I love that. And you said something that I didn't even think about the stress and business and your 8,000 a month losing. We don't want our doctors working either on surgery or working with us when they're stressful because they're not at the top of their game, are they?
No, I teach something called, energy. We are running ragged. We are running around the clock, 12, 14-hour work days. And so we are not being our best self to our patients. And when you're not your best self to your patients, then you get cranky, irritable, you're missing things. And so you're not even helping your patients, even though you think you are. And then next thing you know, is a staff member says something and you say the wrong thing back, and you regret what you're saying. So you need to take care of yourself, just like you're on the airplane when the mask comes down. Put your oxygen mask on first before you put your child's oxygen mask on. You have to help yourself in order to help other people. And I have to become better at time management, better at organization, better at your systems and everything else in order to be able to take care of the patient in front of you and be totally focused with that patient.
It's powerful because if you're an accountant and you make a mistake, okay, it might cost you a few $1,000s. You make a mistake as a doctor or in healthcare, we don't have to say that. That's really scary. And business is business. And that's the cool thing. You have what I love about you, you had the 34 years, so you know how to run that. But some of your practical stuff that you talk about could fit any entrepreneur listening or any business owner, right?
Right. Like I said, I did a lot of studying and learning about business in general. Business is business, and it really starts off with your client, customer, patient, whoever you're serving. That's where it starts. But better than that, Stephen, the team around you. If you take care of the team like you would take care of that customer, client, patient, your team will take care of that customer, client, patient for you, make your life easier. Because you go to a nice restaurant, the first person you see is the hostess, right? The host. And they give you a bad impression, then you're thinking, well, this is going to be a bad experience, right? Um, and so it starts off with that receptionist, the first person who is answering the phone. They represent you and the whole vision of your organization.
So the journey is that is in my image. I come into the doctor's office, this clinic. I meet the lady to check in.
Right.
Yeah, she treats me bad, and then the other people could treat me great, but that first initial impression is important. How do you, and this is great for our audience to hear, especially business owners, how would you coach that? What do you tell your practitioners?
Well, I just got over the flu and had to go to urgent care, right? And so excuse me if I cough here and there. But you walk in, the first thing they say, oh, just go to this machine here and just sign in. I'm like, you know, hello, welcome to so-and-so clinic. Welcome, we're here to help you. My name is, Marie, wherever. Just be pleasant. And I don't think people are not pleasant in general. Some people are not pleasant. But overall, they're not. They're normally nice, but they're inundated with paperwork and nonsense, and they forget the purpose of their position and their job. knowing their purpose to serve the person in front of you, right? Then that would change the mindset if they were educated on what their purpose is.
What's some action steps? Because this is really big. I can't wait to hear when you answer this. What are the action steps that you want that person that's right there at the desk to take? I mean, tell us what you would tell someone. Like, I'm a practitioner. What would you teach this person that's at the desk to do to make sure it's a pleasant experience?
Right. Well, there's confusion going on because in this case, let's just stick with, doctors. It could be anybody, whatever business it may be, that we want you to collect money when the patient comes in. We want you to make sure they fill out all the forms properly. We want to make sure you answer the phone. There's so many different tasks, and we focus on the task. But that's not, you focus on the purpose, and the purpose of the organization is, and you teach that purpose, to have happy, healthy patients who refer other patients who are educated in their healthcare, is an example. Knowing that and just fulfilling that purpose and saying that, what your role is to make sure the appointment book is full, okay, with the right kind of patients you're looking for, and to make sure the patients understand their appointments, why, they need to come back, and why they need to come in, what would happen if they don't. And that's what's missing. Think about it. Today's high deductibles, co-pays $50, $75. I feel better. Why do I need to go back to the doctor? Well, the doctor complete his or her treatment plan, and if they didn't, the outcome could be worse than if you just stayed home. You thought you're fine, but 2 weeks later you're sick again. So that comes with education, and it's the job of everyone in that office to educate that patient. And who's responsible for that is the doctor owner, who then could pass that role down to the practice administrator one day, right? But having in-service training and saying what we're all about. I can't say right now, but I remember when Starbucks started, it was all about that. Everybody knew their roles, and everybody was well trained, and everybody was educating the customer on the different sizes, grande, and venti, and the different flavors and this and that. It was a great place to hang out. Well, open up your computer, do some work, read while you have a nice cup of coffee, right? Best example, even to this very day, is Nordstrom. I mean, I learned from big companies, like that. It's all about, I could tell you this, Stephen, I used to go to Nordstrom's, now I order my shoes online, but to get shoes. And I say, as soon as I walked into that shoe department, the sales guy saw me, and I could see the corner of my eye, he saw me, and then he disappeared. He came out. He says, "Hi, Dr. Wishnie." And I knew that in the back room, he has some sort of file to remember who I was, because I don't go every week to get shoes. I mean, it could be twice a year. And he just come and go, "Hi, Dr. Wishnie, how are you? And you're a size 9, right? And what can I do for you today?" It's like, wow, how did he do that? I want to know how he did that so I can do that, with my patients. Something like that makes you feel special. And I think we have gone away with that. A lot of our business, we just focus on the bottom line, but that bottom line comes from how we treat others.
I love that story because I tell people all the time, it's kind of cheating a little bit. He ran back there, but taking the action, you still felt great, even though you knew. You just said, "I know you went back there, looked at my file," but you didn't care. He served you. We used to do that in a health club, and audience, this is the same thing. Our thing was, my family owned a health club, was say everybody's name. And the staff would go, young kids, they go, "I don't know everybody," because 1,000 people walked in. Just look at the computer screen. They checked in, go, "Hey, Peter, welcome to the club." But it changes you, and it changes your, the employee, but it changes the member. I love that you shared that, because that's a simple practice that a practitioner can do or anybody else can do to really build their
Absolutely.
business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had a line item that said, "Oh, she just went on vacation, or what's going on." And the other thing is like, you know, I am a podiatrist, but if someone told me they are nervous and worried because they have to go for a breast biopsy next week, I made a note of it, and I waited till after that date of the biopsy. A couple of days later, I will call the patient and want to know the results. Had nothing to do with their foot and ankle, but I was treating a person in front of me, and that's what's most important.
Simple step, but to take action, people. That is so powerful. Thank you for sharing that, because that's a game changer. People will stay with you, probably stayed you with 20, 30 years because of those little acts of kindness that you did just to check in. And anybody can do it. That's the power. You don't have, there's no skill set for that. It's just taking the action to do that. So with
Exactly.
business, systems are important. Are they that important as well in healthcare clinics as well?
They're huge. You can tell when a practice, an organization is like a well-oiled machine, and it's due to systems and training. But systems have to be flexible because, like that book says, what got you here won't get you there. Um, you know, the systems have to be changeable. It has to change with the changing of times. As your practice reaches a certain level, those systems are outdated. And and then that's where you come in with your KPIs, knowing, well, this is not working anymore. And Stephen, the key here is this: the CEO, the owner doesn't have to know everything and can't know everything, because I can't know what's going on in the front desk or in the back office while I'm treating a patient. That's why team meetings, we did it weekly, and asking what went on this week and what went great, what needs to be improved, uh, what's not sustainable, and getting your team's input gets them involved, and they're no longer robots. Now they're thinking, you're asking them for the input, you are implementing their ideas. And I think more than ever, today's generation wants to be part of something that stands for something. And they want to know that they want their company they're working for to grow, and they want to be part of that growth, and they want to be recognized for it.
Yeah. So if you walk into a clinic and you know they don't have a good system, you have a pretty quick fix, I would assume, huh?
Yeah, well, it's easy to say this is what's going on. Now we have to get everybody on board to
Yeah.
fix it, and to change, because people don't like change, and something, and it's usually or two things that need to be changed, unless they haven't changed anything in years, and then we might have to redesign the whole system.
And that helps stress and burnout as well for the employees and the doctor as well, right? Good systems.
Absolutely. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, burnout is just the burnout from, and the doctor's standpoint is from, excuse me, this is from basically not be able to delegate and able to trust. And it's hard for doctors to do this. And the reason being is because, let's say you're a surgeon, you're operating, and at the end of the case, doctors are perfectionists by trade, right? So we can't say, well, that surgery was good enough, right? No doctor ever said that, right? And so we have a perfectionist tendency, so we have a problem delegating and trusting others, even administrative tasks. And there's others who just delegate everything, and they don't even know what's going on, and that's not good either. And when it comes to like high expectations with your staff, your team is like now getting burnt out because they don't know what to focus on. They don't understand. Um, they're doing this, and no one else really understands their role as well as they do, and no one's even asked them for their opinion.
Yeah. What's a tip you would give audience, because whether it's a doctor or a CPA or a business coach, no matter what you do, for time for their family so they don't have burnout? How can they reclaim that?
It's something that I read a book long, long time ago. Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, right? And I used to have one of the Franklin Covey's planners for a long, long time. You put the big rocks in first, and that is your health, the things you can do for you, your mind, your mindset, and your family. Those things go in your planner first. I never became the head baseball coach of my kids' baseball teams. I was an assistant coach because I couldn't make it to the practice, but I never missed the game. Okay. And to me, that was the most important thing. So you put that in first. And then the things that are, there's a list that everybody has, that a list of things you should not be doing. And I urge everybody to take out a paper, index card, and every day write the things you hate doing that other people can do. I mean, you're the doctor, so the only thing, I mean, you should be doing the doctor things. But even in the treatment rooms and for orthopedists, podiatrists, what have you, we don't need to be putting casts on, removing casts, removing sutures. A medical assistant, a physician assistant can be doing that. But you're the one that's actually doing the surgery, the injections, the things that you're licensed to do, and only you can do. And you're the educator as well. That's what a doctor is. A doctor is a teacher. So write down on an index card every day the things that you don't like to do and the things that you shouldn't be doing. For doctors, most of the big number one on the list is your charting. Okay, and it's 2026 AI, virtual scribes in the office. There's no reason why you should be spending time at midnight doing your charting, right? So do that. Learn how to train. Take the time. This is the hard part. Take the time. Cross off patients from your schedule and train people to do these things. Okay, and then here's the other key component: retrain them. When you think they are trained, I actually have I hate to say the word test, but it's a test. It's like demonstrate how you do this. Demonstrate how you do this. This is where I know and you know that you understand what the role and the job and the description.
Yeah.
And then from that, I could say it's all yours now. Now I can just give you the whole job and I don't have to worry about it. Okay.
Yeah.
And periodically retrain them. I learned that from Disney. Disney consistently retrains their employees every single month.
Monthly, huh? That's powerful.
Monthly,
That's quarterly is usually
I have a stupid joke, and I keep on saying to myself, "Don't say it," but I'm going to say it. And the reason is because if you don't train Mickey properly, Mickey becomes goofy.
That's actually pretty good, and that's a good tip for you audience out there. We're coming to the end here. What's your legacy look like? You're doing some incredible things. You helped a lot of patients in 34 years. Now you're helping the other side, the doctors. What do you want to see your legacy look like?
That's a great question. Something that I just want to let people know that I was always there for them, to help them, serve them, and leave this world in my my own little community. Everybody takes their own little community and leave it a better place.
Amen. Now, that's a beautiful legacy. That's one that I'm aligned with you, and I love that. And you are doing that every day. And audience, you can do the same thing and take some of these great tips that Peter gave. Let's finish with a fun question. We're going to get to know Peter a little bit more. So I'm going to go to your favorite restaurant. I'm going to reserve a table to eat. Me and you're going to sit at the table. Once you invite 3 people who've been influential in your life, whether dead or alive. But more importantly, what would be the food you'll be ordering?
It'll be an Italian restaurant, that's for sure. So for me, my favorite food actually is pizza. But there are, like in New York City, you can find a lot of great Italian restaurants with pizza. So it'll definitely be pizza. And if it's not something I eat, very rarely do I eat, but I very rarely eat pasta, and I like pasta, but I like to keep my weight and stay in shape. But probably have a nice pasta and a veal parmesan on top of that.
Thumbs up for that.
Nice and simple.
Who we bringing to the table?
The first person is definitely my father. Okay, he's passed away when he was 59 years old. Um, don't want to get choked up here, but he taught me a lot, and I wish he was alive and he's to see me graduate from podiatry school and see me open up the practice. My father was a really good businessman, and I watched him a lot and got my work ethic from him. Yeah.
It's beautiful.
So that's the first person. Um, the next person will be a doctor a doctor named Irv Donick. He's a podiatrist, and I will tell you, he had a skill that I can never do, and I don't know anyone else who could do this. Imagine teaching. He trained me in my residency. Imagine like training a resident, trusting the resident, and says, "Okay, I'm going to give you the instruments. You don't have to worry about which instruments I'm giving you. I'm going to give you the right instruments. I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it." And he would give me the scalpel, whatever instrument, the scissors, whatever he would give me. And he would verbally tell me what to do. Most people need to let me demonstrate, let me show you, and take the scalpel and then show you, not continue with the same process, right? He didn't have to do that. He can verbally describe perfectly how to do something. And that is such a skill. That's a communication skill to be able to communicate the exact technique. So he would be the second person. The third person I bring into the table. Um, that's a great question. You said it could be anybody, right?
Anybody.
Anybody. It's crazy. For me, it would be Abraham Lincoln. I just that whole Civil War period is very interesting. Um, and he had a lot more downs and ups, but he became one of the United States, great presidents, and he did something amazing. And I would like to know what's went on through his head when he failed at all these things he failed at, um, and how he gained his strength to become, who he is, and what was going on when everybody was against him during that period of
Yeah,
time, and how he overcame it without listening to the naysayers.
it's a good one. Hundreds of years later, he's still got a legacy. Well,
Yeah.
Peter, thank you so much for being a wonderful guest. I'm excited for healthcare in the future. I think you're going to make some inroads there, and I'm excited because it does need a lot of help, as I started the show with. I know people listening would like to connect with you. Maybe it's a doctor or nurse. How can they reach out to you?
My email, just go to drwishnie@gmail.com. It's the best way to do that.
Beautiful. And audience, reach out to him if you have questions, and subscribe to the YouTube channel or Peter's or anybody else's that you see. And these shows are gifts. We are talking, he's given us so much great information. You're talking to somebody that's in healthcare and is struggling. Well, send them the podcast to have them listen to it. And maybe you're going to make an impact in somebody's life. How cool is that? Or any other podcast. Doesn't have to be mine or anybody else's. If you just see it resonates with people, share it out, and let's give out those gifts. With that being said, me and Peter want to thank all of you for watching or listening to this podcast, and we'll see you all in the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Have a great day, everyone.